Very good evening to all of you. Yes. I would like to start with congratulating Snam ma'am for starting something that has not been done, at least in the city of Hyderabad or in the state of Telangana. The entry barrier for advocacy is quite huge, in the sense that you'll see a lot of medical colleges obviously, giving articleships, so you get to learn practicals. But you won't really see law colleges teaching you the art of advocacy. And it's so rare, and it's also unfortunate that certain families have also, not monopolized it, but it has become convenient for them or their kids to join advocacy pretty easily. It's unfortunate also that that art is not taught in law schools, even though BA, LLB honors, let's say, the course that I did at least, was 5 years. But I wouldn't get any practical experience, despite being, I went to a good college, it's a known college, but despite that, I haven't gotten that practical experience of being an advocate. तो अभी भी वो एक चीज रह गई है कि आर्ट ऑफ एडवोकेसी सीना बसीना मुंतकिल होती है, अभी भी पढ़ाया नहीं जाता, which is unfortunate. That is not how it should be. So it's okay to teach CRPC or IPC, which is fine, which should be the basic when you're doing law. But nobody teaches you things like what is an out of order petition, for example. CPC पढ़ा दिया, but order of order petition कई लोगों को नहीं पता. And that is quite unfortunate. And we lawyers also don't really have, I'm sorry, I used to be a lawyer until a while ago. Okay, so that habit of course hasn't gone away. But yeah, we law people also don't have the best of reputation. Right? I don't know if you know, there is this thing called Byomkesh Bakshi. It's a character, detective, called Indian Sherlock Holmes. There's a writer, Bengali writer, Saridindu Bandyopadhyay. He has written a series of books called Byomkesh Bakshi. Nobody really reads it these days. Doordarshan used to have a series on it. Okay, you can find this on YouTube. So what happens is, there are some typical cases. Okay, let's say Sherlock Holmes, but of course Indian Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so there are very typical cases where Byomkesh Bakshi is called as a detective to solve certain cases. So in one episode what happens is, I'm saying episode, in one book what happens is, it's been translated in English also, that there is a murder that happens and a person is lying on the floor, nobody knows who has killed him. So the investigating officer goes, the police goes and looks at that body and he's like, okay, we do not know, nobody has entered the house, this man has been found murdered here, he's simply lying on the floor, what do we do? So they said, we have to call Byomkesh Bakshi because he solves this, okay, he will solve this case. So Byomkesh Bakshi को बुलाया जाता है, he comes and he says, and he asks the police officer, क्या हुआ था? तो he said, पता नहीं, बस एक इंसान, हमको खबर आई कि एक इंसान का कत्ल हो गया था और हमने आके देखा तो ये है, और यहाँ पर कोई आया भी नहीं था, घर भी अंदर से घर is locked, so we do not know what happened here. So you have to solve this case. So ठीक है, इनकी जायजा लेते हैं कि इनकी लाइफ कैसी थी वगैरह. So he asked, what did he do? काम क्या करते थे? So the police officer says, वकील थे, but वकील होते हुए भी एक अच्छे इंसान थे. You got it?
Yes.
वकील थे, वकील होते हुए भी एक अच्छे इंसान थे. थोड़े legal terms में बोलूं मैं, notwithstanding the fact that he was a lawyer, he was a good person. So for a lawyer, for an advocate to become a good person is an exception. ये वकील होते हुए भी अगर आप अच्छे इंसान हैं, तो मतलब दाद देनी चाहिए. फिर कैसे हुआ इसका खतर? Even Byomkesh Bakshi is like, यार अगर अच्छे इंसान थे तो क्यों? सिर्फ वकील था तो मानना जाता कि खतर हो सकता है. ठीक है, अच्छे इंसान है तो कैसे खतर हुआ? And to give another example, I'm going slightly away from this. Shakespeare, if you have interest in literature, he has written 3 parts of Henry VI. Henry VI was a king. In the second part, now Henry VI was a king who was slightly innocent, didn't know how to rule, didn't want to rule rather, was very shy, was very reserved. So there were a lot of revolutions. A lot of people said, move the king away, we'll claim the throne. So there was a person called Jack Cade. He said, I will claim the throne. So he came and he said, he was giving a speech because, he wanted people to support him. So he goes on to give a huge, very beautiful speech in fact. This is from the second part of Henry VI. He says, if I become the king, there shall be no money. And everybody will eat and drink on my score. कि पैसों की वजूद, there won't be any money. जो भी खाएंगे पिएंगे, it will be on my dime. I will pay for it. And everybody shall be dressed in one livery. सबको एक जैसे हम कपड़े पहनाएंगे, लिबास होगा एक जैसा, so that they all think like brothers. And he goes on to give such amazing speech of revolution. कि Henry VI को हटाओ, I'll be the king and I'll do all of this. Then there is one person. His name is Dick. Later on, Shakespeare calls him Dick the Butcher. He gets up and he says, all that is fine. When you become the king, the first thing you should do is kill all the lawyers.
Oh my God.
Because obviously he must have been tormented so much that he says, kill all the lawyers.
Oh my God.
And then Jack Cade looks around and everybody is like, I'm giving a revolutionary speech here to be a king, and you say kill all the lawyers. Then he says, okay, maybe this is what you should do also. He said, no, that I'm already going to do. That is a plan anyway. You don't have to tell me or suggest that to me.
Already decided.
So, yeah, that I'm already going to do. I'm telling you what more I'm going to do. तो lawyers को तो हम खत्म करेंगे ही, आपको खाना भी मिलेगा, ये मैं बता रहा हूँ. It's assumed that it's going to happen. So you see, lawyers generally have that perception. And of course, then there are, if you look at TV shows or whatever, watch Netflix or Prime, half the shows talk about lawyers being ambulance chasers and everything. There is a lot of nobility that used to be there in the profession. There have been very great advocates, be it Nani Palkiwala or Satyawad, etc., who do stand as very tall inspiration for us, or Fali Nariman for that matter. And that nobility has to be, I wouldn't say restored, but has to be developed. And it can't be developed, and right now the biggest hurdle is the entry barrier. So I come back to the same point again, that the entry barrier into the legal field is too difficult. How is it that we celebrated on 10th of March the International Day of Women Judges, and we only have 4 in the Supreme Court? That's the entry barrier, right? That's the entry barrier. Or such low representation of, let's say, women, even at the bar. Okay, because that's the entry barrier. And that road is only clear for those people who have their parents or somebody they know who have already cleared it. But what about a new person who wants to become a very bright and successful lawyer? He might do it, but his hurdles are much higher than the hurdles of people who already have people in the legal field. And that's unfortunate. Because if we really, pride ourselves being equal opportunists or a democracy that gives equal treatment to everybody, that entry barrier should be lowered. And when Ms. Husna ma'am had proposed this idea, that's the idea that came to me, that if you're teaching them how exactly to conduct their legal practice, that's one step. I'm not saying it's totally eroding it, but that's one step closer to erode that entry barrier. That you're making advocacy as a field accessible. That you're giving access to people and you're allowing people to dream to also become a Palkiwala, to also become a Satyawad. That nobody tells you that you can become a great advocate only if your father is a great advocate. You can become a great advocate if you have the dream and if you have the grit to become the great advocate. And I think for that, I congratulate you for this academy. And for that, I also wish the very best for you. And I'm sure that you're going to produce many great lawyers. And that gap that law schools leave, it's a pretty wide gap. I'm pretty sure you're going to fill that gap with your initiative. Thank you so much for inviting me. And all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Good words for me. Good evening, everyone. I thank the founders of Legal Crux for inviting me to this great event. Law is an ocean and I am a pebble in it. And I am a layman striving hard to expertise in law every day. And I am greatly privileged to be the part of Legal Crux Law Academy. Definitely in future we are going to train so many advocates towards expertise in law. And there is a myth that people who don't get any admissions anywhere, they will join law. There is an old saying that if people join law colleges, they will say that he doesn't get any admission in any college. But nowadays, we can say that all great minds are joining law colleges. All great people are joining law colleges who are having to give their part to the society. They are joining law colleges. And law is an ocean. If anybody feels that I am an expert in law, from that day onwards, the knowledge will stop coming into his brain. All lawyers are students of law till their last breath. If lawyers don't study, they must think that they are dead at that moment. If lawyers don't read judgments of Supreme Court or High Courts, they must feel that they are not alive. Every day you are supposed to be updated. Every day you are supposed to be reading the Supreme Court and High Court judgments and update yourself, only to give a very good service to the clients who approach you. And in law colleges, we study law. Only we study law. And in some of the judicial service coaching centers, we understand law. We study law in the law colleges. We understand the law in the judicial service coaching centers. And we learn how to practice in Legal Crux Law Academy.
Thank you, sir.
How to practice. What are the ABCDs in practice? Right from wearing the robes, standing before the bench and submitting the arguments, or winning or losing a case. If a lawyer wins the case, there ends the matter. If a lawyer loses the case, he will learn till filing the case before the Supreme Court. Because a lawyer has to take winning and losing of a case in a very positive manner, so that he will learn. He will learn a lot about if a case is won by the lawyer, there ends the matter. If a case is dismissed or if a person is convicted, then he will study about how to file an appeal, how to go for a district court or high court or Supreme Court. It's a never-ending process. A job of a lawyer is a never-ending process. If you would have remembered some of the advocates, while arguing, they think themselves that while arguing, they have to leave their breath. Many lawyers, I hope, they left their breath while they were arguing a case. Till their last breath, only one profession is a legal profession. You can practice before the courts, and we are one of the stakeholders in the justice dispensation system, dispensation of justice, and we lawyers are the stakeholders in the dispensation of justice, assisting the court to reach a just conclusion. Without, you would have read many judgments of the Supreme Court and all other high courts for not giving an opportunity to defend himself. Many cases of death penalties were also acquitted before the Supreme Court. If a person is not given a legal counsel for defending himself, however bigger the case is, it will end in acquittal, or a case shall be decided in his favor because he was not given an opportunity. Because the profession of lawyers is a very noble profession. We have to understand about the nobility of the profession, and every lawyer should strive themselves for continuing to be ethical, to be credible, and work hard to become expertise in their profession. And I congratulate and I wish Legal Crux Academy is going to be taking this challenge of making very good lawyers and making them to learn how to practice before the courts, either before the trial courts or either before the high courts. Definitely, in future, judges will know that people are trained. The practical advocacy is being taught at Legal Crux Academy. By seeing the wearing of robes, starting from wearing of robes to the conducting of the cases, or every practical aspect, everyone will remember, they themselves know that he is a trained practical advocacy lawyer. Nowadays we used to see that lawyers straight away come from college without having any practical knowledge, and joining a senior, they will get practical knowledge after 10 years or 15 years. In some of the senior offices, simply taking adjournments, the junior lawyers will attend the courts only for taking adjournments. But after training in Legal Crux Law Academy, they are very much confident of arguing the cases before the court and appearing before the courts very confidently. And thank you, the Legal Crux Academy founders, for giving me this opportunity. And I close these small words by congratulating Husna ma'am and by thanking the family for giving me this opportunity, for calling me to this function. Thank you one and all.
First of all, on the onset, I wish to congratulate Madam Husna and family, which we are also part of in a big way. That it is accomplished today that we are able to do what we aspired to do for so long. I was one. This morning I was at airport. I was thinking that what I have done in last 10-15 days, I spending time in United Arab Emirates. There is an Expo 2020 going on. That is perhaps the greatest show, the greatest event of the Muslim world. So I thought I should not miss that opportunity, which is about to close in March. So I just went there. So I was walking through. Each country has a pavilion there. So I was going through Egypt. So Egypt has a great history, great legacy. So I was just going through. So Egypt has. I just recalled an incident when I was being taught in Nalsar University by Telangana government to upskill myself as advocate. So Chief Justice of Telangana High Court asked a question to the galaxy of lawyers at that time: why do lawyers wear collar? The lawyers collar. So people were like, people has no answer. So because I read Bible by that time, so I could answer him saying the Old Testament, the story of Moses coming down with 10 commandments on his from Mount Sinai. So I gave this answer. So sir was very happy. The collar which lawyers carry is a symbolic replica of morality from the Old Testament as a sign of morality. So the Chief Justice was very happy with that answer of mine. So the same incident I read in the Egyptian pavilion yesterday, day before yesterday when I was passing through Egypt. So like Madam rightly said and Jacob sir also rightly pointed out that lawyers should read widely. And as they say, doctors, it's hard to become a doctor and it's easy to become a lawyer, but it's hard to become a successful lawyer and it's very easy to become a successful doctor. So lawyer profession has a history, has a legacy of 5,000 odd years. So it's a legacy which we, a generation of lawyers, carried forward. But unfortunately, for various reasons, in our democracy, as democracy is getting penetrated to the lower stratas of Indian villages and towns, we are unable to produce a great number of lawyers with varied experience and skill. Here at this juncture comes the role of this skill upgradation institute which Husna madam has started. In fact, we were discussing the modules of 90 days modules. So I very much think that this will be a great institute to begin with. In fact, the ex-Prime Minister of India, Manmohan Singh, once said that national law universities which India has are the islands of excellence in the ocean of mediocrity. So in his view, that NLUs which produce a tiny number of lawyers are only the oceans of excellence and the rest is the ocean of mediocrity. In his world, the law schools are not producing enough skilled lawyers. So that's the reason the whole legal system and then through legal system become the judges and public prosecutors. So the whole legal culture is becoming not a very progressive profession. So this ancient great profession requires dynamic lawyers, and lawyers are also called as social engineers. So I wholeheartedly wish that this initiative which was floated by Madam Husna Khan, that this will be a grand success, and I very much wish to be part of it, and thank you for giving me this.